Hi, in today's episode we'll be looking at making 4 modular farms that can be expanded to fit anyone's needs, and 2 of which has an alternative to using observers. So let's get into the builds. Our first modular build will be the Cactus Farm. All of the items we'll need will be in the bar below. We first need to dig out a 5 wide by 5 long area, and then drop it down 3 blocks. Cut out 3 more blocks at the bottom, placing inside a chest and a hopper running into the chest. Place the sand blocks down as shown here. Add the water source at the back so that it all flows into the hopper. Place the cactus on top of the sand. Then in between the cactus, add a fence post so that anything that grows will be instantly broken. The water will carry any items down into the hoppers and store it into the chest. You can expand this build as big as you need. In the event you do not have access to any observers, our next 2 builds will be powered by an Etho clock. You'll start by placing down an on-off switch, which will be a lever, that will run into a hopper. Make sure the 2 hoppers are running into each other so that items can pass back and forth. Place a comparator running off from each hopper, then a block, some dust on top of the block, add a piston pushing into the hoppers, repeat the process on the opposite side so that it mirrors. Then add a redstone block in the middle. Check to see if it works. The item should pass back and forth, pushing the pistons, which pushes the redstone block. Once that you've checked that the clock is working, add into the clock 4 stacks of 64 and 1 stack of 45. This should give us 2 minutes. Once the first part is complete, add a comparator running out, then repeat the process twice more. And from the last comparator, we'll have it running into a block with a redstone torch on the end. This will give us the pulse signal that we'll need for the 2 farms. So if I just add 1 item to the hopper, you can see a pulse is generated. The middle hopper we will place in 5 items, giving us a grand total of 18 minutes run time. For the first of the 2 farms, we'll do sugarcane. You can build this as big as you want, but for this example, I'll just be doing a 4 block wide. Place in our steps. Then in front of the steps, we're going to want to use mud. So we'll use earth blocks and add water. This will allow hoppers to collect items through the block. Now we'll place down 2 chests. Cut out the area in front so that we can add our hopper collection system underneath. Make sure to shift click from the chest and then into the hoppers so that everything runs along. Fill the area back in and then add our water sources into the steps. Cover the top of the steps with blocks, and then a row of pistons on top. Surround the area then with glass. And add the sugarcane. Then seal up the rest of the area so that any broken sugarcane won't be lost. Now build up 2 blocks high along the back and a step down so that our redstone dust can connect and power the pistons. At this point we can check to see if everything is working by going over to the Etho clock and removing the stacks of items so that the speed of the clock is greatly increased for testing purposes. So let's leave 5 items in there. Switch it on. And each time the piston is pushed across, the middle section releases 1 item until the pulse activates at the end. And then everything should be collected in the chest below. For the second part of the farm, we'll start out the same by digging out 4 blocks and then placing down 4 steps. Into the steps, we'll then place our water sources. Till the earth in front of the steps and plant our melon seeds. Use bone meal on the melon stems or allow them to grow to full size. On the blocks in front of the melon stems, we want to turn that area into mud. Cover up the water sources at the back. Build it 2 blocks high. Place a temporary block and then bring the blocks out like this. We then want our pistons to be facing downwards, so dig out an area to work in front and place them above you. Place redstone dust on the blocks that are covering the pistons, running it down to connect up to the other farm. Now we want to excavate the area underneath the farm so that we can put in our hopper collection system. Make sure that the hoppers that are coming out of the mud are facing straight down, and the hoppers on the second row feed into the front row. Add 2 double chests at the front so that everything is filtered into the chests. From the 2 chests, have hoppers coming down, then place a composter under each hopper. Dig down more so that you can place a double chest with 2 hoppers running into it. With that complete, head back up, seal in the area that the melons will be growing so that no melons can escape once they're crushed. Once that is done, just tidy up the access area so you can get in and out easily, and your farm should be complete. If you wish to upgrade the cells of the farm so that they utilize observers, then the process is pretty straightforward. We simply remove the first block above the piston and place the observer facing the top of the sugarcane. We then remove any unnecessary redstone and place an observer so that it is looking at the melon stem. To activate the farms, we simply break the block that the observer is watching. Our last modular farm has become more important with the implementation of the deep dark, where the wool blocks are a must for muffling the noise so that we don't summon the warden while exploring. To start this, dig a hole, place an observer with a dispenser above the observer, and place in some shears. Place a block behind the observer and some redstone on top of it, so that the dispenser is powered. You'll be able to see if this works by updating the block in front of the observer. Then 4 blocks in front of the observer, dig some steps down until you're underneath the block that we are observing. Now we go under and create a little work area. We need to place down a chest with a hopper leading into it. On top of the hopper, place down a rail. Then on top of that, place down a minecart hopper. We need to use a minecart hopper as it's the only thing that can pull items through a solid full block, unlike the standard hoppers which can only do it through partial blocks. To check if everything is working correctly, drop an item in front of the dispenser. Fill in the area. Now place down your glass blocks and bring them up 2 blocks high. Then into that hole, lure in a sheep like we did with the cows in the previous video. And that'll be 1 cell complete. To start the farm, you just need to manually shear the sheep once. After that, the sheep will be sheared each time it updates a block by eating the grass. So there we have 4 more simple modular farms that can be easily upscaled and expanded to fit your needs. If you've liked what you've seen and it has been helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, as it'll help my channel a lot and it'll really mean a lot to me. I hope to see you all in the next episode soon.